All right, welcome back to the ChaiGPT podcast.
Hey, folks.
Hey, radio voice.
That's so funny. Yeah, today was a good day. We had a basketball game, main Fod pipe.
I had 2 dubs today. One for our team
Okay.
and one for my kids' basketball team.
Oh, nice. What's the age group?
They are 10, so 5th and 6th graders.
Nice. That's their second win, right?
This is their second win. They're on a
Second
streak
win in a
now.
row. Awesome.
So I thought you said you had 2 dunks.
2 dunks.
Yeah,
So
two
two
dubs.
dubs.
2 wins.
When's
Dubs.
the last time you dunked?
I dunked the other day, dude. The rim was lowered, though.
Oh, okay. That's not.
Bro, come on. It's like Wemby dunking on a regular rim.
He's like, I dunked the other day, man, with all my kids hooping.
No, that was like 9.5.
Okay. That's pretty good.
It's like Wemby dunking on regular basketball.
I know, that's true.
So damn easy for him.
He's too big, bro.
right.
He's huge. But,
Respect.
So let's be like, who's the worst player on the team?
who's the worst player?
let's-
in
I'm
the-
not doxing anybody.
Yeah,
bro.
what
You're
are you
gonna get
talking
that out of
Use
me.
nicknames. I don't care.
We don't have a worst player
We
on our
don't.
team.
We're team players.
We all suck equally.
This
fair.
mother,
At different
this
things.
instigator.
Yeah, like trying to cause problems.
Oil and start the fire.
He wants the Pakistanis to fight. That's what he wants.
That's our next topic.
Oh, that's hilarious. But so our team's name is 40 by nature because we have at least 4 folks that are in the 40s,
Yeah,
right? We don't have
I did coin that.
We don't have to name names. Yeah.
Actually, at that time I was like 38, so going in almost 40.
Oh, okay. Good.
Now I've embraced it.
Now you have to embrace it now. But a question I had is, mashallah, you guys are pretty athletic, still active and athletic. Whereas when we were growing up, I remember seeing my uncles, and by the time you're 30 something, you're married, you got some kids. That's
Yeah.
it. You get a gut, you just eat, work, and never run again in your life. But being in my 30s, what are some like advices or tips that you would provide? Because you're still bouncy.
Yeah.
Like you still get up and you still block people. And you still it's really impressive. So, what would you recommend?
Well, first of all, I would say I'm blessed in the sense that I was gifted with like athleticism.
Alhamdulillah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I think habits is obviously most important. Your eating habits, keeping the fact that hey, let's try to be active, whether it's playing ball, tennis, whatever activity, right?
Yeah.
Because I think in our culture, what's common is once you're 30, married, kids,
Boom.
all that shuts down. Oh, I gotta focus on my kids. I gotta focus on my family. Gotta buy a house, level up, or keep up with the Joneses.
Yes.
And you get busy in that, and then you don't focus on your own personal health, your personal maintenance. And I did some of that as well.
But you got to keep hooping. You got to keep playing.
Exactly. You gotta keep grinding, keep focusing on what keeps you, healthy, fit.
You know what's crazy is a lot of the things that we're learning now about like the PT stuff that we're doing for our knees
Yeah.
and our back and stuff. Bro, imagine if we started doing this when we were like in our 20s.
Yeah.
Like we would be bulletproof.
I never
bro.
stretched.
We would be bulletproof.
Yeah,
at
like
this
in my
point.
20s, I never stretched.
That's unbelievable.
That was like
right?
a bizarre concept. Like, oh, you gotta stretch before
Yeah,
the game.
just go, Ron.
I just put on my shoes and go play a basketball game.
So you're saying keep the habit.
Yeah.
Just don't stop moving.
Yeah, I think
Don't stop moving.
it's really about consistency, right? Like, I don't know if it's all day seasons, but a lot of day seasons just don't have like the, what do you call it? Like the motivation or the ability to be consistent.
Yeah,
and-
it goes in like waves.
Yes. Yeah, and you you do the New Year's resolution, New Year's just passed and everything, and then you go a couple times and you're like, all right, I'm tapping out and everything.
Done.
And so that's where I I had that challenge big time. But then like at some point when you start seeing results and stuff, and you get this great feeling when you have like more energy and everything like that, you don't necessarily want that to go away.
What I noticed is like a lot of people follow like trends or like some new equipment came out like tonal or what was that Peloton. Oh, I gotta get the Peloton to be
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
Like if you never had the habit of staying in shape, a Peloton isn't gonna change you.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah, you can throw
Right.
as much money at the problem and everything like
Exactly.
that. It's a mindset change, not
Yes.
necessarily equipment change.
So if you don't have the habit of keeping in mind, hey, I gotta eat certain amount of food so I can be fit.
Yeah.
Because diet is very important.
Yeah,
If
man.
you're not already doing that, then a freaking Peloton is not gonna transform you into Hrithik Roshan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love food and stuff like that. And that was like a big change, is like having cravings and stuff like that. Like
Right.
when I was in college, I used to get like those Haagen-Dazs bars for breakfast. I used to go
For
to like
breakfast,
the
ice cream.
ice cream for breakfast. I used to go to like the store, the school store, and they had like Haagen-Dazs bars. I'm like,
Were you a fat
I
kid?
could just buy this, and like I spent like my like the $5 I had buying ice cream. Was I a fat kid?
Wow.
No, I was really skinny, but I was running around all the time, and that's what I
Oh,
you know
okay.
that's the thing I think I changed, is that we used to go from class to class, right?
Yeah.
That walking is all you really need, right?
Right.
Like you actually don't need to run, you don't need to do any of that stuff. The walking is all you need, because walking is actually it's like, if you listen to like Andrew Huberman, he says that like walking is one of the most powerful things you can do, and that's actually a fat like burning exercise
Yeah, it's
versus running and stuff.
Walking is important.
It's like
yeah.
low intensity, steady state
Yeah.
cardio.
Yeah, so when I was doing I would do the hit in the morning, but then during lunch I would just go for a walk in the parks near me, and I just felt like amazing.
That's a good point, because during summertime, that's one thing I incorporated as well.
Yeah.
Like evening walks. You know, if I'm not working out, like on my off day, I'll go for a walk.
Yeah. I remember like I would. This is something I advise. You know, the uncles always want to come. Oh, beta, how do I lose my gut? How do I lose this? How do I lose that?
No uncles have come to me and asked me that.
Really?
No.
I wonder why.
You?
People ask me that. All like uncles will come to me like,
Really?
oh, but मैं ये पेट कैसे करूँ या ये वो कैसे करूँ?
That's because you're an influencer. We're not.
I'm not an influencer at all. But the basic thing I tell them, they're like, my diet काटूँ, एक रोटी खाऊँ, you don't do this, don't do that. And I was like, no, just don't change a thing. Just add movement. Just start walking.
Just move around more.
Walk a half hour after dinner. Walk a half hour in the morning. That's it.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that like I had an uncle who would like stay in bed all the time and like not do much, and he was actually a doctor, and he was telling people not to work out.
What?
Why?
Yeah, like because
That's
like
so bizarre.
I think like he wanted to kind of justify his lifestyle, and
That's
like
rubbish, bro.
and like basically. And like because he was a doctor, people would just be like,
Believe
"Right, you're
him.
probably right. He knows what he's talking about."
There's a woman
What is
on
this, Doctor Death? Remember that guy?
Bro, there's a woman on...
Kevorkian, like or the other guy. Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Though.
Yeah,
the,
like
the one who's the
he would
plastic surgeries.
transform, like weird surgeries, but he was not certified.
Yeah,
Bro, there's a woman on Instagram, like the fat doctor or something like that. She's a legit doctor that tells people
Bro, what?
like the adverse of what they're, because I guess people take a, she says it's basically not worth it because like in a year people stop working out and they end up getting it back anyways, or they get worse, or people get depressed and all this. So she uses that kind of angles, but the message is not a positive message of, but you should try because there's so many benefits. It's
So
why,
there's a point to that.
why even try?
I feel like a lot of people associate happiness to food. Like if that is the only happiness that you're getting in life, you got bigger problems.
No, but it sounds like she says just like don't even care about it. Just enjoy your life. Eat.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
she's just like eat.
Yeah, she's called
Okay,
the fat doctor.
so I have a counterpoint to that. I saw a video where all these like I'd say like heavy people. I don't know, can we say fat? Is
Yeah,
fat
you can say
okay?
fat.
Yeah, so these fat people, they did a montage of fat people like talking about like body positivity and everything like that, right? So, like it's completely okay to be fat and everything like that, right? And this lady comes up, right? And then she shows each one of those people having passed away.
yeah.
It was like
That's heavy.
dude, it was like 10 people, and they're like, it's okay, look, like I'm okay the way I am and all this stuff, and I don't ever want anybody to feel bad about how they are, right? But everybody should be encouraged to have a healthy lifestyle, right?
I don't know why it's a bad thing. Like it's even in our religion, right? Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he used to fast Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like fasting
Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays. The whole intermittent fasting. Where do you think that comes from?
He also used to only eat when hungry. He used to eat meat, I think, once a week.
And they walked everywhere.
They walked.
There were no
very
freaking
active,
cars and
very
stuff.
active,
They
yeah.
literally walked from state to state.
Yeah.
used to
Like
work.
during caravans, right?
Yeah,
yes,
well,
One caravan.
those blue zones that they talk about, right, where the people have like the longest like lifespans and everything like that. Those like walking is a big part of their lifestyle.
And that's why I don't understand, like, what is
Look,
wrong about talking about being healthy
look,
and not eating like stuff in
Well,
your
that
face.
we're in a place where like things are kind of backwards, right? Like you get
Yeah.
canceled for kind of pointing out things.
That's true.
Because we're a culture where we don't want to hurt people's feelings.
I also think like there's a stigma that Western civilization is like the golden
But it's not.
standard for everything.
Absolutely
It's
not.
not.
Absolutely not.
I mean, with recent events that has happened, we know
But
country.
but
It's
even
like you question a lot of things that Western civilization has put forward.
bro, if you look at the advancements of the Middle East 1,000 years ago,
Yeah.
as far as we were when in the Renaissance era, right?
Yeah,
when
we
they
were
were
the pioneers.
when they were bathing once a year, royalty was right. We were making wudu 5 times a day, right?
Right.
Like, it's
Like this whole bidet system where
it's all
comes
exactly.
from our like Lorda.
It's a
all
way to
comes from
control.
us.
It's a way to control.
Oh,
It's-
there was
Yes, it is.
something about, I forgot what it was, like something about the Middle East where like the people there were living longer, and it had something to do with wuzu. Like, or, I don't know if it was living longer or something, or they were less likely to get sick, or I forget exactly what it was. But that because of wuzu, like they're cleaning themselves regularly, they're just healthier. or
bro,
something.
even the idea of quarantine
Yeah.
comes from
Yes.
the Muslim. I think it was Umar ibn
I read
Khattab
that about
actually,
that.
right?
Yeah, I
about
read
where
about
there was a village within his kingdom that had this disease,
Right.
and he wanted to go and be with those people, but he was denied, and nobody was allowed to leave, and nobody was allowed to enter, because he was like, you're risking not just their lives, you're risking your life and the lives of other people that you might spread it to, and that was like, what, 1,200 years ago, 1,100 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
More than that, maybe.
That's why
1300
I
years.
don't like when, like, whether it's Muslims or whatever your identity is,
Yeah.
embrace it.
Embrace it.
Why do you have to change? If you're Muhammad, you shouldn't be Mo. Own up to your name.
Yeah.
Own up to your heritage. Own up to your culture.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
So
Because we have good values.
We
Yeah, I go by Shah, and it's just because people can't pronounce my name.
But
Yeah.
Shah is still a
No,
very-
Shah is still your
a
name.
very
Like, it's
Muslim-
part of your
Oh,
name.
So Shahzad means prince, Shah means king. So I kind of promoted myself, I
Oh,
guess.
there you go.
Mark Norman has a bit about that, right? He's like everybody else is dying of hunger, you know, like we're dying from like eating too much.
Exactly.
So I guess Mo and Muhammad
He's
is
like,
a bad
it's like,
example.
what was
but
the
like,
cause of death? And it was like icing.
Yeah. No, but I know people who changed their name from, oh, it was Muhammad. They changed their name to like a Steve. And also, it's like fear driven, right? I mean, after 9/11, it was scary to be Muslim, dude.
Right.
It was very scary to be Muslim. Like, you risked everything. You risked your family, your life, everything to come to this country for prosperity. And now all of a sudden there's a target on your back, and you gotta be careful.
So my dad, he's a civil engineer, and he works on like all the major. He's worked on every major bridge around like Manhattan.
Wow.
And so during that time, he like had a beard. He shaved it and like made a mustache and out of it and everything like that. Because he had a mustache before, so he felt comfortable. But like, you have to be careful with what you were saying around them. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in a different time now. You know, you should be able to stick to your guns. And in fact, the imam that he was so proud of like people like finally voicing themselves. Like, this is the
Yeah.
first time that everybody's like sticking to their guns. They're not hiding. They're being vocal.
Yeah.
And like, I guess TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff's allowed for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it
There
should be.
is a level of reluctancy from the generation right before us that maybe they're the first ones to actually come to this country. And I hear that from my parents sometimes, like, oh, why do you need to don't post too much about this, or don't speak up too much about this, or don't say too much about that. Not because I'm not supposed to, it's not good to, it's like they're afraid, right? I think Hassan Minhaj talks about it, the audacity of, because he talks about in one of his sets, where it's a story about his father, and someone vandalizes something, his father just cleans it up normally.
Yeah, yeah.
And he gets mad, like, no, you should say something.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, Hassan, it's okay. It's like, now we have the privilege, the audacity to now stand up for ourselves.
Right.
Where they didn't, because they just wanted to survive.
That's true.
Yeah, so I was in this situation because I was like between my contract like suddenly ended, and I was out of a job, so it was like, and then the whole Palestine thing happened, and I was like, I can't post anything because people are like, they check like the level of jobs and stuff I'm applying for. They do their background checks and everything like that, and so like my creative outlet with that is that I went to the protests, right? And I helped with like some graphic design for some organizations and stuff.
Yep.
Whatever work I did got donated and stuff. So, although I can't like be vocal online and stuff like that, but you know, I try to do what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be Nikki Haley, be Namrata.
Yeah. That's bro. I didn't even know she was Punjabi, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't
right?
even know. I was like, who's this
How
white
did you not
bitch?
know? You didn't know that?
I didn't know.
Okay.
A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know. That's the thing. A lot
I've
of
known for a
white
while.
folks have no idea.
I've known for a while.
But a lot of these, like,
She does look like kind of like Go to right? Like
She
why?
does.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
So a lot of
she
these
acts
Americans
and
aren't gonna
speaks
question
and
it.
behaves in a very.
That's why I kind of.
Approved
That's why
American way. Yeah.
That's why I kind of respected Vivek because he was Vivek Rangaswamy, right? Like.
But he
that's
is
him.
being very honest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do like. I don't know him. There are a couple of shady points to his life. For example, he's against affirmative action.
Okay.
Right, yet there's when he was making almost $500K a year in law
He
school,
used it.
he took a loan from me through affirmative
Yeah.
action,
I remember
not
that.
a grant or something like that,
Yeah.
which is like
It benefited you. Now you want to cut it
now
off.
you want to cancel it. Even then, you didn't even need it. Even then, you didn't even need it. Yeah.
I think he explained himself for that. I don't exactly remember what he said.
His explanation was I was a college kid. Why wouldn't I take an extra 50K?
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah.
making $500K a year already.
Right.
Wow.
So it wasn't like he was like college kids like us struggling like freaking working multiple
It's
jobs.
like how Shaw finds like slick deals. He found a slick deal.
He found a slick deal. Yo, extra 50K.
Exactly.
Extra 50K.
You're already well off, but you're still looking ways to cut like your
To get a little bit
expenses.
more or
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm
That's
Gujarati. That's what we do.
That's what you do.
Is he
I'm
Gujarati?
pretty
I know it's
big
like
as
what is he,
Gujarati.
South Indian? I think I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
Good-
the-
Gujaratis
it's
are
the
known to
Indian-
be
it's the
very
Indian
cheap.
trait.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of which, right? Not of Indians, but like in general, we will all work in tech,
Yeah.
and one thing that I've seen consistently
Yes.
in tech is there's always competitions. There's always everybody fighting
Mm.
for like to show that they're better, to show that they're smarter, to show that they're and
Trying to one up you.
trying to one up each other, or like if they
Yeah.
know that so and so develops certain functionality, they want to develop another functionality. And to an extent, that's good. To an extent, that's
Healthy
good.
competition is
Healthy
good.
competition.
Right.
But I have seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen as well, where there's certain instances where people are chopping others at their knees.
Yeah.
They're really trying to cut each other down behind their backs.
Right.
They'll really highlight and point out people's faults.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To do that, and they'll also kiss a lot of ass.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I hate, I think, and I know I talked about the whole Zaka Khan instance, and from a comedy perspective, but from y'all's perspective, like you're more like advanced in your careers. How do you combat that? I know you were a manager,
Yeah.
and you're a product manager now, former program manager.
Yeah.
So when you work with multiple teams, multiple people, when you see that, what is your initial and what is your experience with that?
So I think like in the end, like the performance like overshadows everything else. Like if you deliver and everything like that, that's the most important thing, right? Don't try to politic and like try to like cut other people down and stuff like that. I've had to put people on like performance improvement plans because of that very reason. Is that they just weren't a team player. They would not deliver what they were supposed to say. So like the people who do the best are the people who actually like say something, they commit to it. In terms of like chopping people down, like why? Like
Yeah.
like what do you get out of that?
For
'Cause-
me, it's always been, it's all about insecurities, right?
yeah.
If I'm secure with what I can do, why
Yeah.
should I stop Usman from doing what he can do at his level?
Exactly.
Yeah, and like you
Like,
should.
I
you
should
learn
help
from
him reach his potential, right?
it. Yeah,
If he's a friend of mine or if he's my colleague,
yeah,
like his paycheck isn't going to affect me from growing.
yeah.
Like you should be secure in your abilities, your
For
skills.
sure, yeah. And like surround yourself with like good people who are like gonna lift you up and not put you down. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
our mutual friend Shakib, I've had like countless conversations with him where like we just talk about like work and stuff, and like because he deals with like teams and IT and all that stuff, and I've dealt with like big projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Not on his level, let's be clear. But I think we get like good information from each other and stuff like that. He's looked over my resume and stuff, giving me tips, like forward me to
Yeah,
these
he's a
people and
great
stuff
resource.
like that. He's awesome, and so like that's the sort of like be like Shakib is what I'd say. Yeah.
What would Shakib? What would Jesus do? No,
But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's insecurities that are projecting, like, oh, if I can take down the next person, I can, use him as a stepping stone.
Yeah, but that
But
means
that's
that
not-
that means
that's
that
not
you
how it should
lack
be.
confidence in yourself.
That's
right?
what it is.
There's
Insecurities.
probably something lacking on your end,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
if you
100%.
feel that you need to bring somebody else down to feel good about yourself or feel secure in your job, it's a problem with you.
it's messed up.
Yeah.
And I would see it so often, and to be honest, I would see it a lot in the Desi groups,
Yeah.
and especially folks that are like, fresh off the boat, right? They come to the country. I understand the idea of like you gotta hustle, you gotta get your green card, you gotta get status, all that stuff. But it's like, I feel like they don't understand that you would go further if you built good relationships, if
Yeah.
you establish yourself as a good character, as a good person that is willing to watch and help other people win.
Right.
If it
You're
means
building a
if
network.
it means the team's winning.
Right.
And honestly, like I think Fahad would agree with me. Like as you get older, you get a radar, you get a detector for those sort of people,
Yeah,
and you just like for me, like if it's like my personal life, I just cut those people out.
absolutely.
Right. And at work, I try to avoid them and like kind of circumvent them if I can. Like I'll just go above them or around them or not depend
Yeah.
on them, if that's possible.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that there's enough out there for everyone is really key.
Oh,
That's
like-
true. Yeah.
Like I know comedians that I really feel like they think that the only
Right.
audience is Philadelphia, and it's like, dude, you don't understand how big the world is.
Especially this day and age, man.
You find your own niche.
The whole world has been
Yeah,
flattened
yeah.
by social media.
There's a
Like,
comic in LA named Fahim Anwar, and he said something which was really brilliant on a podcast I heard. He said, if you have one of these,
Exactly.
you're on TV.
Yep.
Because back in the day, it was all about getting TV credits as a comedian, as an entertainer.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you have one of these, you're on TV. Start creating
That
content.
gets you more views than any TV
Absolutely.
program.
Absolutely. Without any investment on it. But the idea that, like, your success or someone else's success is going to hinder yours, or like, it's just stupid.
Yeah, that's why I brought up the paycheck. Like my
Yeah.
paycheck isn't gonna affect yours, vice versa.
It's so dumb.
Unless you give me your money.
Oh, that's just stealing from you.
Are you Mr. IRS?
No, I didn't say steal. It's just like here's some
Are you
money.
Mr. Sam?
Either way.
It's IRS, yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, and I don't know if it's limited to our culture, like Desi culture, because I've seen.
It's not, but I've seen it a lot, especially
'Cause we're
in tech.
exposed to it.
Yeah, we're in tech,
Yeah.
so you
True.
you see a lot of this in tech. But yeah, we gotta stop doing that, man. We gotta really lift each other up.
Support each other.
I also like being like right now I'm in like sort of like leadership roles, so I get to like control most of it, right? Like
Yeah,
I can kind of like guide my team into like how I expect them to perform and stuff like that. And if I
For
see
sure.
that behavior, then I could put a stop to it pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
But the teams I'm working right now are awesome, and they're just they want to get into like they were missing dates, they weren't like missing commitments and stuff like that. So they want to they're like hungry to get to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the sort of team that you want. Somebody who's like open to change and making things better.
And I guess the last point I'll make is like the new folks entering the workforce
Mm-hmm.
are much smarter than you are. They were born in this new generation.
they are smarter for
Yeah,
sure.
they'll find shortcuts that you don't even know exist. So don't try to think that they're gonna come in and,
But they are smarter, but they're also less patient
yeah,
in their own development.
that's true.
Because you can be very smart and you can be very knowledgeable, especially in tech. Every resource in the world is available to you. But if you don't develop relationship skills, if you
Yeah.
don't develop professionalism, if you don't develop communication skills, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how smart you are.
That's true.
And for to act like, oh, you deserve the same thing for someone who is in the industry 15, 20 years and has developed all those
Yeah.
skill sets, and that's why he's more senior than you, is getting more paid than you.
It
Understanding
has to be a
that
balancing act.
it's not just about your role, it's
Right.
about like the quality, what I'm trying to say, skill set that you bring. And you have to, that just takes time to develop.
And then more and more, the one factor that's becoming like more prevalent is, and I've had this conversation. It's likability,
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
right? Like
100%.
Soft skills will take you longer way than technical skills.
Didn't they do a study about like they did a study over all the presidents of the United States, and they have all these things in common. Certain things like they're usually good looking,
They're all
very
white.
likable, they're very much white. But like things like they're taller, they have all these things that make them statistically more likable, and therefore
Likability is
huge.
Yeah, because that's
Will take
remember
you a long
like because you may have two candidates, right? And one has they both have the same skill set, right?
Yeah.
But one you just enjoyed talking to, and they, like some, because you're going to work with those people day in and day out,
Yep.
right? Who do you want to see across from you in a meeting, right? Who are you going to depend on and everything like that? And so likability for me is like one of the highest things.
So I guess my
Absolutely.
point was like the new guy that's entering the workforce, be humble, learn from someone who has experience, and then the guy who has 15 years of experience, you should also be humble. That someone who's coming in might be able to take your job. So don't think you're untouchable.
In any case, bro, like there's so much still left to learn.
Okay, so
Yes.
that brings us to the girl who recorded her, like, so this girl, I forgot her name, something Peach. Or
Yeah,
something
she
like
went viral for basically recording the conversation with HR.
Yeah. So
About
she
getting
she
laid
was
off.
she was working for Cloudflare, which is a cloud hosting service,
Yeah.
right? And they're competitor to like AWS, Microsoft, Amazon, Microsoft and Verizon. And so, yeah, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it's okay for her to record that?
I didn't watch it in this day and age. If it's not explicitly asked not to be recorded, I don't think
Assume
there's-
you're being recorded.
assume you're being recorded. To be totally honest, like
The what I got out of it is that she wasn't given an explanation why she was being laid off, or made it seem like it was performance driven, and so she was trying to extract that from them, and they wouldn't give it to her. That's what I got out of it.
yeah, I mean, this is dumb.
So I read through the comments, and what it seemed like, I guess they added more context, is that there were like layoffs. She wasn't like singled out or anything like that. And she was saying that she had like 4 sales that were like in the works and everything like that. Unfortunately, none of them went through, right? And so if it's a sales position, like performance has to come into play. You know what I
No,
mean?
but she's saying 3 months out of the 6 months she's been there, she spent like onboarding, and then there were holidays and all this other stuff. That's why she couldn't close.
That makes sense.
So there's arguments made on both sides.
Yeah, but layoffs are happening everywhere, and
Yeah,
so I think she's like younger. She's in her 20s and stuff like that, so she's probably never experienced something like that.
I will always favor an individual versus a corporation. Doesn't matter who it is. Always.
Yeah,
These
'cause
corporations don't give a goddamn about who you are.
the biggest fallacy, and I'll tell this to anybody listening, the greatest fallacy that was ever invented is that you have to be loyal to a corporation. The
F
reason
that.
the reason why I say this, right? Because I'm not the first one to say it. I've heard this a million times. A company needs how much time to lay you off? None. They can
You're a
literally-
number.
they
You
can
turn
lit-
into a number.
They can literally walk up to you and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
time to go."
Yeah, you're part of the
Your
5,000.
thing is ended. Yeah,
Right.
but then they expect you to give a 2-week notice to save rapport in a relationship.
So this brings me to like, so when I like I was a director of marketing technology at one point, and the speech I gave to when I joined like to my team, I go hey, like companies are not going to be loyal to you at any point. They can just let you go, and so I don't believe in that, right? So what we're here to do is get the most out of it. We're going to deliver value to the company for sure, but your job is to learn and grow as much as possible. And I said this, I promise. This is what I said to them,
Oh, wow.
and make make it as good as for you, so that if for some reason you have like skills that you can transfer somewhere else. Like I had one person who was like a content editor, ended up being a director of marketing operations. Right.
Awesome.
We had another guy who was like a vendor. Like a developer from a vendor. He's now an architect working at one of the EPAM, which is another vendor company, a really good company. And so, like, I think it's really important. And I'm not. That's 100% what I believe.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so
like,
if a company is telling you, hey, we're all a big family, red flag. Going the other way.
yeah,
Or be ready to, like,
you're not a family, dude.
no one's...
You're a bunch of professionals delivering value to a company that I hope you have some belief or like support in. You don't want to, like, personally, I don't like to work for companies that I don't believe in, or I don't like what they're doing. Like, there's too much out there for you to do that.
And it's
But-
a transactional relationship.
Exactly, it's a
It's
job
not
at the end of the day. Like,
emotionally driven.
What was like? You don't have to name names. What was the best company that like and atmosphere in a company that you've ever worked for?
the one I'm in now,
The one you're in now.
100%.
Yeah.
So for the
So
past,
like, what makes it like what makes it like compelling for you?
So for the past like 7-8 years, I've been jumping as a consultant. I've been jumping, working for company to company, right? So I had the opportunity to work for maybe 2 to 3 companies in a year, and I was able to develop like a real like fine-tuned preference for culture. And so one of the few things that my company now has is they have a flex of their flexibility. It's they don't make a big deal things that aren't a big deal. For example, right? They're not like, oh, you have to be in your chair at 8:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and you cannot leave before 5 p.m.
Oh
No.
my god.
I hate that.
It's like
I got in trouble for that.
so it's like it's the dumbest thing. Like
It is.
at my company, it's like, oh, I had my teams in London,
Yeah.
so they're like, oh, if you have meetings from 7 to 11, and you obviously can't get up and go get ready while you're, take your time, have your meetings, get dressed, and then come into the office.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody's gonna bat an eye. Oh, you're done with meetings at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Okay, go home. Like, why are you, you know? And then there's also the idea of accountability. I hated going to companies where 100 people be like, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. Nobody ever takes care of it.
Yeah.
And then they expect you as a professional to do the professional thing and follow up.
Yeah.
When it's like, bro, why is there not just accountability? Like, if you say you're gonna do something, do it.
Do it. Right.
Yep.
So the company I'm at now, there's a culture of, if I said it, it'll be done. And there's an expectation, like, that's it. There's no...
We're all professionals here. No one's babysitting anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me. No micromanagement.
But I also think that it comes down to like budgets, right? Like if a company can afford that quality of talent, right, that can actually deliver what they say,
That's
right?
Then you know everyone around you is a rock star.
Yeah, because I
No
work
one's
with
gonna
like,
drop the ball.
But
you know what
does
it is like a lot of companies they'll go with the lowest bid and they'll get like the shittiest project,
Yeah.
like you know product.
They'll
back.
get Accenture.
Whoa, shots fired.
Yeah, Accenture will come in. Oh, these are all your problems you got to fix, and they'll bounce.
No, not even that, bro. There's cases of not just Accenture, consulting firms that will hold on to code for a year and a half
Yeah,
Hostage.
and never check it in. Then once they check it in and deploy something, there's a million issues, so they have to stay there and fix it.
Oh my god.
And now you end up paying them 2-3 years for a project that's supposed to be a year.
and I agree with you with like the people who are like alarmists, like everything is a big deal type of people. Because if everything's a big deal, nothing's a big deal.
Exactly.
In reality, right?
100%.
Like if you think about it.
Exactly.
What was the company that you enjoyed the most?
So this is like it was like a love-hate relationship.
Okay.
But I worked at a startup.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name the company, but when I joined, we had like 30 developers, and by the time I left, we were close to like almost 200.
Whoa.
So
He's talking about SpaceX.
So prior to me joining this startup, I had, enough experience where I worked at large corporations, Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
And I was just exposed to working in this one tiny box.
Yeah.
As soon as I joined the startup, everything opened up.
Yeah.
There were no walls, no guardrails, no red tape.
Mm.
I can go talk to the CTO, the CEO.
So flat organization.
Organization,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And I got involved at every aspect of software development lifecycle.
Mm.
That's cool.
I was talking to the clients. I was the account manager.
Yeah.
I was talking to my developers. I was the
Nice.
engineering manager. I was talking to the SLT team,
Yeah.
like roundtable discussions, like with them. I was like, dude, this is amazing. But the flip side of that, it was a very toxic environment.
Mm.
If you didn't have a thick skin, if you weren't producing, you were out the door within 2 weeks. And I survived close to 5 years there.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I learned so much. I valued that over I would deal with the toxic stuff. Because I learned so much.
Is this the same?
Yes.
Is this the same
Yeah,
company
yeah.
that I interviewed with?
Yes.
Okay.
Same company.
okay.
You guys, how long have you guys known each other?
Wow.
Quite
Since
some time.
basketball, yeah.
Yeah, 2016,
Wow.
2017.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Football before.
That's when you were trying to get into fintech.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
right around
That's
that
cool.
time.
Yes.
But yeah, like you gotta pick and choose your battles, right? If you're
Yeah.
learning skills,
Yeah.
it's okay to put up with a toxic environment for a little
If
bit.
you're developing,
Yeah.
growing.
Because you're sharpening your skills
Yeah.
that you're not gonna get elsewhere. Because I've already been exposed to all these Fortune 500
That experience
Yeah.
is key. That
So
experience
that's
is key.
key.
So the one that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Okay, so this company, right? They had no offshore presence. Everybody was onshore.
Oh, wow.
And what that meant is that like they would only have huge budgets. Like they charged an insane amount, right? But I think like a lot of companies are very fed up with vendors where they can't necessarily communicate with them and they can't deliver on time and they can't reach them if they need to
Yeah.
and all that. So like some companies will be like, you know what, screw it. Like a UPS or a FedEx or something like that. They're like, we're gonna hire this company and everything. And this company had like a really amazing like environment because they encourage you to go to lunch with your client like once a week, right? They encourage you to go to lunches with your team regularly. They had like company-wide outings and stuff like that for team building. They had a very lax like taking time off policy. I think you had like unlimited. Obviously, don't abuse it, right? They just trusted people, and it was just really good. And they also encourage you to keep learning and growing and stuff like that.
Doing those things is how you promote culture. Not listing we're a big family. Yeah. Come join the family. Like stop. Yeah. If you have to spell it out, then you're probably not a family.
Yeah.
What that tells me is when you jump to like a family thing, it means hey, they're about to take advantage of you.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
And their expectation is, but we're family.
Be ready to drop your actual family and adopt your new family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a big red flag.
The reason why I left that place is because job satisfaction. So I was hired as like a senior program manager. I get in the role and it's more of like a scrum master role, which I used to do like 5 years before that. Right. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm getting paid really well, but I'm not learning and growing. And so for me, if I'm not learning and growing, I'm out.
I'm the same way. Yeah. I think we're all wired the same way. Where you gotta constantly challenge yourself. If you're not being challenged, well, are you really growing? Yeah. So we always look for that.
Absolutely,
that's very important.
All right, so we have been on for a while. So let's finish and wrap up.
This was great.
With the last thing, and we'll try to be brief about it.
Yeah. Make it fun.
If we want to expand into the topic more, we can always do another session about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, definitely reach out to us on like our Instagram and let us know if there are any specific topics that you'd like to.
For sure. Hit us up.
Yeah, because this is for us. It's a proof of concept. We're learning and growing and changing things as we go.
Yeah. So welcome. Welcome to our journey. Do we want to talk about predictions, or do we want to hold off?
I think we go. Let's just time box it. Let's give each other like 2-3 minutes to talk about.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the question is. What are some of your key predictions of 2024? Could be anything. Could be tech related. Could be socially. Could be
political.
Stocks, war, whatever.
I'll give you 3.
Go ahead. You start.
Trump will be president. Right off the bat.
Oh, God. Okay.
So for us, it's like picking 2 evils, right? Like Muslims, no one's gonna satisfy our needs.
No, but I'm saying we don't have to pick from 2 evils at all.
But you know what? Like
we do though. Our absentee ballot does not help anybody.
It doesn't have to be Democratic Republic. It could be.
But what I'm saying is, Trump is president. At least our economy does well. At least my day-to-day life is somewhat a little happier.
Yeah, but right? and like he hate him or like him or hate him, right? Like he did what he said he was gonna do. So like when. Like,
did he go to war?
Versus like Biden.
He did say what he was going to do, and within the first 100 years of presidency, he did bomb Syria. So
did he go to war?
Let's not forget that. Yes.
Did he?
Yes.
With who?
With who?
He continued the wars in Syria and the Middle East. He didn't do anything to stop the wars.
He took out they were like targeted hits, right? Like on like al-Baghdadi or whatever.
No, but was Saudi involved with those attacks?
What do you mean?
Wasn't Saudi involved in the Syrian conflicts?
The whole Middle East is involved in Syria, bro.
I feel like Saudi.
If I
hate Saudi more than
one day,
own presidents.
One day I can break down the political climate in Syria and why.
What I'm saying is like we're quick to judge like the presidents of America, except and like not holding our Muslim leaders accountable.
No, we should 100%.
But we don't do that. We don't hold Saudi Arabia accountable for.
We should 100%, but we should also not. Like find justifications for people like Trump. Like
but
he's a terrible person.
No, he's not.
I said he's a terrible president.
Between 2 evils.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
for sure. But I prefer him to Biden at this point.
Yeah.
Like.
I don't. You know why? Wait, hold on. Yeah. You know why I don't prefer him? I know the number one reason people are saying this is because Philistine, because what's happening in Palestine.
Well, not only that, the money that's sending to Ukraine.
But if you look at what Trump has said about the war in Palestine. He wanted troops in Palestine already.
But Osman,
the Biden administration sent over a few $100 million in humanitarian aid for Gaza to get through or whatever, even though they caused the humanitarian conflict in the first place with the billions that they're sending. But Trump even said on top of that, he's like, we should never even send the $100 million. We should just go in and.
So for me, it boils down to one guy talks nonsense nonstop, Trump. The other guy tries to talk.
Like he's a good guy.
He can't even talk, first of all.
Yeah.
He'll fall dead any given moment.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, he's bombing. Yeah, he's bombing every
That's crazy.
Every other country.
No, like he just like he bypassed Congress and he got like $100 billion approved. Like that's
So
shit
my
that you
point
can't
is
do.
like
That's like dictator type stuff.
But
right?
Democrats have historically
They're warmongers.
been more. Yeah.
That's their family business.
And they pretend like they're peaceful, which is really
positive. Okay, so those are your
All right,
predictions.
that's mine.
Next one's good.
Right off the gate.
Go ahead.
Second one.
We're learning a lot today.
I know. Go ahead.
I think Bitcoin is gonna hit 60 plus K
Okay.
this year.
So what do you recommend people do then? Invest it right now?
Yeah, jump in now. So the Bitcoin halving will happen this year. It's in April, targeted in April.
So what does that mean?
So that means is there's only certain amount of Bitcoin that you can hash, right? And that's going to be reduced to even lower amount. So quantity will be reduced.
So you should buy now till April, or buy after April?
Buy closer to halving, so probably around April-ish.
Okay.
I'm no expert, but I'm just telling you what I'm.
Okay.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah,
What's your third
that's
prediction?
right.
Yeah, we have no legal.
Third prediction, I
advice.
think something crazy is gonna be announced in regards to AI.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
That's Vegas. Hell.
It is, but I
So
think
basically
there's something brewing with.
If anything happens with AI, then he's right.
No. I think there's something brewing with what's the company? ChatGPT. What's the company?
Microsoft?
No. The
The
company that started
company,
ChatGPT.
OpenAI.
Yeah. OpenAI.
Oh.
Something's brewing with OpenAI, and they're trying to be hush hush about it. That's why the CEO was like passed around,
Yes.
right? He was booted from OpenAI.
There
Then
is
Microsoft picked him up. Then they're like, no, you need to go back.
There
And now
is-
he's back with OpenAI.
Yeah, there is something that's happening.
So that's gonna get exposed.
They are getting involved in industries that you did not expect, like
Yeah.
construction.
And I think because of that, governance around AI is gonna be set up hopefully this year.
For sure.
That's
We're in
my-
like the wild west of AI right now.
Yeah.
Should that be gonna go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have three, but I agree with the whole Trump thing. If he's able to run and they figure out a way to unless they figure out a way to like prevent him from running, which like there's plenty of legal things that he's done illegally. Like,
Bro, you know what blows my mind about all this?
What?
When people say this
What?
is if I came out of jail,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
it would be impossible for me to get a regular job, even at a freaking mom and pop shop or a freaking McDonald's or something. And a guy who has 13 cases against him.
No, it's like way more than that. It's way more. It's
13,
like 90 something.
No, but 13 states
Oh, 13 states. Yeah.
are basically suing him.
Yeah.
Colorado has made him ineligible
Yeah.
to be voted for president in their state, and he's been impeached twice. Yet he can still have a chance to be president of the United States. Whereas if I walk out of jail, I can't even work at fucking.
Let's not
McDonald's.
talk about open cases against presidents like Imran Khan in Pakistan.
That's not open anymore. It's
Dang.
closed.
It is, dude. They keep piling up cases to keep him in jail because he was going to interfere
That's
with this
crazy,
whole
bro.
Israel conflict with Palestine.
Yo, you know what's crazy about
He
that?
took a
too?
stance against.
Are you guys pro Imran Khan or
I am.
pro?
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Bro, like
Hell
a
yeah.
month.
So
He was literally the
I had a
only one
conversation
that.
with-
After he said that about Israel,
Yeah,
this started happening.
exactly.
A month after
he was going to get in the
refused.
way of
Yeah.
all that's happening right now.
So I spoke recently to somebody really knowledgeable on it and stuff like that. And he's completely opposite in terms of he's like what he asked is like
Did
what
you
is
speak to an Indian person?
no,
not
he's
a Pakistani.
Pakistani.
Really?
He was like a Pakistani guy who saw like his friend like murdered in his arms in Karachi and stuff like
But
that.
what was his reasoning?
He said like what has he actually done? What has Imran Khan actually
He's
done?
done a
He's
lot.
done a lot.
What has
He's
he
actually
done? What has he done?
tried to do a lot of social change.
He got rid
a
of
lot change-
dead weight
A lot
as
of
soon
change
as he
for
got in.
education.
Okay.
Yeah, education,
Uh,
hospitals.
He tried to. So one of the biggest problems in Pakistan right now is the military has too much power.
Yeah.
So he also tried to like.
Well, they overthrew the government a couple times, right?
yes,
Like,
they did the same thing here.
Yeah.
They literally showed
They
up.
did
to
that to Pervez Musharraf, right?
yes, they
Yeah.
showed up to.
See, his problem was that he was a little too naive. He didn't know the political game.
Mm.
He came in with a clean heart and tried to look at actual problems and fix them, which included the military.
Yeah,
And that was a big no-no.
Well, he is.
Once you mess with the military, then it's a wrap.
I'm just
He
kind of
is-
tired of like celebrities becoming like politicians.
But
like,
he's a legit a good dude, man.
Okay.
So the thing is like, he legitimately wanted to make some changes. Now
Right.
again, he is a Pakistani elite, so he's not.
Yo, who gives up
No, I'm saying he's not completely clean-hearted. Let's just be honest.
Well, who gives up his white wife to come move back to a shitty country? That's
What
gonna
do you
screw
mean?
him over?
What do you mean he gave her up? What does
I
that
think
mean?
they separated.
Well, that
Because
maybe
he didn't
I
want-
don't think it was part of the trade agreement for him to become prime minister.
Like,
that
hey,
you gotta give
it's
up.
like,
Hey, mama, I gotta go back and fix my house. She's like, you on your own,
Bro, I don't think that was.
hey Cindy, like just stay here.
No, but
I
I'm
gotta
saying
go.
he was like his ex-wife was like really well off.
Okay.
He was really well off.
He's
And
really,
he was,
he's
but
he's
like
an ex-cricketer.
she had even more money
Dude's
compared to him.
He's Patana.
So he gave
Yeah,
up that
yeah, mashallah.
he gave up that luxury to come back to his shitty country that betrayed him. So how are you gonna doubt him?
Sure. Okay, so what was your prediction? We got off track.
Yeah, so I think if Trump is able to run, I think there's gonna be a huge wave. I think we're gonna find a lot of people are disenchanted with Biden,
Trump
especially
2024?
the young people, right, who's seeing what's happening in Palestine and stuff.
Yeah.
Because Biden like hasn't really done anything for anybody. He's just more of the same. I
He's
think
done a lot for Israel.
Yeah. The thing I keep coming back to is that
Only one country.
they say it takes $20 billion to solve homelessness, and we're sending $100 billion like pretty much every other day. Right?
It takes $1 billion a year
Yeah.
to end hunger in America.
Amazing. Let's do it.
So for the $100 billion
Shut
we
up.
just sent for the next 100 years,
I
no one
wasn't
goes
born yet. I
hungry.
can't be president, guys.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
That's the craziest part, though. Like my tax money is being turned into
Freaking-
bombs.
Oh my god.
That's
being
what's
dropped on
heartbreaking.
All right, let's move on.
That's
This.
the-
Wait,
Let's move
no.
off that.
Before that's an important one.
That's why I hate Biden.
So my wife
Dude, that's
is
gonna be the case. Whatever you're here, you listen to
my
Trump.
wife is
Trump
like
didn't do that in the 4 years. He didn't
They,
turn bombs.
bro, they for since I don't know how many freaking years, but they've been giving Israel over
Yeah.
$15 billion a year for the last like 40-50 years.
Right, I get the $3 billion a year. That's like a
$3 billion, but they've been getting a collective $15 billion
Yeah,
in
it's
AIDS.
crazy.
And
all right, guys. I think
Alright.
we went past our time box.
Okay.
yeah. What's
yeah,
your
keep
prediction?
going.
You gotta.
You have more predictions.
That's
One
a
more.
good question. I think there's going to be a battery breakthrough for EVs, and I think it's not going to come from Tesla. I think it's going to be like a Lexus or something like
Is
that.
that because your car almost died last night?
Why do you gotta get personal for?
Because I was in your
Bro.
car.
Where did you end up charging?
In King of
King of
Prussia.
Prussia.
Yeah,
It wasn't
Oh,
so
you
bad.
made it.
Yeah, dude,
We
we
parked
watched
for like 10
awesome like
minutes.
Celtics Nuggets game, and we just chilled there and watched that.
Yeah.
I passed out, but you know, that's the latest I've been up for in a long time. By the way,
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was way past our bedtime.
I'm surprised I'm still functional.
What
right
other
now.
predictions do you have?
I don't know, man.
More late nights?
More late nights. There's gonna be a pop-in burger spot in Philadelphia. I have a prediction for
Plug.
that.
Oh.
Inshallah.
Plug.
I heard
Plug.
rumors.
Yeah.
Plug. Next
Yeah.
time.
Yep. Next time.
Okay, my predictions real quick. One, Islam Makhachev is gonna be a double division champion in UFC. That's what I believe.
Imagine if he's like a household name.
He's
Islam
gonna,
everywhere.
he's gonna be. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
He's spreading Islam through his name.
Yeah, for sure. Second.
Khabib did that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he did. Khabib was.
Khabib is amazing.
The second prediction is that the World Cup is in Philadelphia this year.
Oh yeah. Yes.
So that is either gonna make or break the city.
What do you mean? We already made it. We're already on the map, bro.
No, I'm saying make or break the city in the sense of like the economy.
Oh.
So Philadelphia, back in the day, signed this. It's called like a Tiger grant with Camden for like a lot of money to develop the city.
Okay.
And so you started seeing development in the early 2000s that was happening in Camden and Philadelphia to uplift it.
Mm-hmm.
But then COVID,
Gentrification.
yeah, but COVID took a huge, like, tank on Philadelphia. Like, the riots that were happening, the looting that was happening,
Oh,
the
yeah.
crime that was skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're finally getting to a little bit of a balance now. But I feel like what happens in this when everybody comes to the city, and what state that leaves us in, it could either really help us and elevate us, or it could really mess the city up and put us in a bigger hole. That's another one.
That's a good
So
one.
well, I thought I thought like when you said it was going to break the city, I thought it was like people like it's after like an Eagles game when they lose.
No, this is gonna be a.
Do we have to grease the poles?
This is gonna be a whole nother.
Do I need to go buy a bunker?
No, if you know what I recommend, buy a property in Philadelphia that you can Airbnb for that duration of time, because I promise you, especially in this area, which is like within 20 minutes of stadiums,
Cha-ching.
it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna go live in my parents' house and rent out my house. I think
No, that's a great idea.
make
Do it.
10 grand over a weekend, and then that was 2 predictions.
Yeah.
My last prediction has to be the Vision Pro from Apple
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
is gonna change like our interactions with computers and televisions drastically. Once that takes on, I think this will be the year where we really start.
I'll be honest with you, I
stepping
never got
into
into VR.
Okay, so
it's augmented. Augmented.
They're
and-
bringing the AR part of it.
So I can talk about this because I'm an early adopter. I've had like every version of the Oculus.
You don't say.
Yeah, I've had the Valve Index. Yeah, I've had like everything, right?
By the way, if you
It's
guys don't
augmented
know,
reality.
if you guys don't know,
yeah,
Shai,
no, I know what AR is. Yeah.
Shai's a big tech gadget collector.
If you can't tell with all the laptops and everything he has.
Yeah, when I was younger, couldn't afford anything, and then all of a
and
sudden
now
I
he
can
buys
afford
two
it.
of everything.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get to a point where I can't afford anything anymore.
Full circle.
So I think the key to success for VR, okay, I'll tell you what it is, okay? First is battery life, right? You
Yep.
should be able to put that thing on and have it on for like a whole day. You should get 8 hours of battery out of it. So
But then if it's heating up, it's going right to your freaking brainwaves.
I'm sure I'm probably killing a couple. I probably killed many like brain cells that way, right? But what I'm saying is, okay, so battery life, right?
Yeah.
And then the other piece is content. Everything comes down to content,
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
right? So if Apple wants to do amazingly, like come out of the gate with like 10, 15 games and stuff like that.
Not-
Usman,
not
if you're
just-
saying I can play my Call of Duty on a 120-inch screen wearing that thing, I'm down.
Not just games. You don't need a 120 screen. You can. It is a screen.
I know, but I'm saying like I can like expand.
You can
it,
do
right?
it. You can expand it as big as you want.
And then
You
I can
and
have
you
like,
and you can lock it in.
and I can have dual monitors within.
You can lock it in. You can do it multiple things. You can do whatever. You can literally have your computer running on a screen over here.
That's kind of cool.
And then you look over there. There's another TV screen you have put up here.
That's kind of cool.
And
No one else is doing that.
yeah, it's really sick. You can put the environment stuff. I'm really excited about. You can put yourself in the middle of like some desert, and it just feels.
You're right though.
Yeah.
I would like to see what apps people develop
Well,
just specifically.
but
for
I don't
that.
think it's
Also,
gonna-
and the third part I was going to get to is the price.
Yeah, the price it is expensive.
The price is it's $3,500. Let's
Motorcycle.
be what?
It's a motorcycle.
It's a used motorcycle.
Hey,
motorcycle.
Ducati.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So therein lies the problem, right? It's not going to be accessible by most people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that these software developers are making the software make money is if they be able to sell a lot of their software. So if
But a lot of the software available now is available. on it.
your user base, right? Like if I have a PS5 or an Xbox, right, or even an Oculus or a Valve Index, which costs 1/3 the price, or no, not even like like 1/10 the price sometimes, right? If it's a Switch or something like that, like why would I be compelled to go get something like that?
So I'm an Apple fanboy, but I'm not a fanatic where I need everything, the latest phone. Like this, I have an iPhone 13. I'm fine with it. But there are loyalists that'll drop whatever money is required to
The
go
thing
get
is,
that thing.
you can do anything from
Without
your
thinking
phones
about
on your laptop. Anything you can do on your laptops and your phones, you can do on the Vision Pro.
I'm not saying that, but you're not going to get rid of those things. You're not going to get
Yeah,
rid
you're
of
not
your
gonna get
laptop.
rid of it right
And
now. But you're gonna
if
see,
the Vision Pro can replace all those things, then there's a use case there.
yes,
But
Honestly, it comes down to: do you believe in VR? Do you believe in augmented reality? That's what it comes down to.
but if you looked at it so far, right, like if you're talking about VR, almost every company's failed. Facebook went hard.
That's why I
with-
said I've never
hard with
bought
Meta.
into it.
metaverse.
Yeah, and they've lost billions of dollars.
That's good.
Billions of dollars and everything like that. So, and they went really hard with it, right? They bought Oculus.
That's good.
They changed
I
to
hate Meta.
I hate Meta with a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's like you're right though. It has to be the user experience has to be there. Otherwise, people are gonna abandon it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Again, I think number one barrier is the money. Like, who's going to spend $3,500? Who's got $3,500 nowadays? I'm not. I'm definitely not. I for sure not.
Once it's
You know how
used,
many
you'll buy
used
it.
Mini Coopers I can buy with that?
Once it's used, you'll buy it.
3.
I can get a Mini Cooper S
And you'll-
with manual.
You'll trade in your
transmission.
Mini Cooper with that for that.
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for some dummy to buy it and then like realize they're not using it, and when they sell it for like 1/3 the price,
There
that's
you
when
go.
I strike.
There you go. That's
On
when
that note,
that's when the Gujarati strikes. When it's 1/3 the crust.
But that's the value I associate with it.
No,
like,
that's fair.
so I think it's for me like the Valve Index is like the top of the top in terms of VR, and that went for like $1,200 when it came out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most I would ever spend because that's as expensive as like a laptop.
But
then
a
like
lot
the
of-
other thing is
a
that,
lot of the VRs
yeah.
only did a certain amount of things. Like they only played like weird little games.
Yeah.
this thing is not just for games that you play and then you're done. This thing is, instead of being on your laptop or instead of watching a movie on wherever,
multitask?
instead of FaceTiming someone with your phone, you just do it on the Vision Pro, and it's just you're in it.
But you're also wearing a goofy looking headband.
You look like Cyclops.
Eventually it's gonna evolve into just being one plastic screen in front of you
I'll be down for that.
that just covers. It's gonna be
I
crazy.
like it. A visor.
I can see for the future,
Well,
not
like
in
sunglasses.
2024, but in general, yeah.
Cool. I
All
feel
right.
like we hit
That's it.
a good amount of topics.
Is that a wrap?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a wrap.
Thank you
Alright.
for tuning in. Subscribe, follow, share, do all the right
And
things.
comment. Let us know how we're doing.
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear. Let us know on our socials on YouTube, Instagram.
For sure.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
All right.